Didn't they have an estimate? Oh, okay, it's already done.
Before we get started, I see one more come in. If you would like to speak and address, I'm gonna ask you just to put your name and address on a piece of paper. They're right on the counter where Chief Hughes is. And then turn it in to the ladies over here on the side table, please. Nope, okay. Here's mine, okay. All right, we've got a couple minutes.
Do we have a card to say what's on your mind? That's what you're here for. Okay, right.
Nick, will you communicate to the next ones that come in as they come in to say things, if you want to speak? Okay, that's fine. They're kind of struggling in one by one. I want this one. Oh, they're talking about Are we ready? Okay. All right. I'm going to call to order the Town of Unicoi BMA meeting for May 15, 2023. Welcome, everyone. Our invocation tonight is going to be delivered by Jacob Shelton. He is the Assistant Chaplain for the Town of Unicoi Police Department. And then we will do the pledge, and I will lead the pledge. So, Jacob, come on up to the podium here. We appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you. The Bible says, and Proverbs says, 16 and verse number 8, better is little with righteousness than great revenues without righteousness. I think the Bible is true. You can have these town meetings, you can have a lot of things, but if you don't have righteousness or God on your mind, you can have all the revenues in the world and never get anywhere with it. But let's always just look to Him for His understanding and pray that everything would go good. Let's bow our heads. Father in heaven, we thank you for another day of life. God, we thank you, God, that we've come together and had this meeting. God, we ask you, Lord, that you just bless it, God, with your grace and mercy, Lord, that we look to you in all things, Lord. I ask you, Lord, to help us to remember, Lord, everything, Lord, that better is a little right, Lord, with you, God, but we can do so much more with you and with your understanding, God, Lord, than what's capable of our, Lord, of our earthly minds, God. Lord, I ask you, Lord, to bless everything that goes on here tonight. Lord, I ask you to help everything to be civil. Lord, that we would, Lord, please you in all things that we do. We love you, God. We thank you for loving us. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, I'll stand for the pledge, please. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. All right, Ms. Kessler, would you call roll, please?
Alderman Lemon.
Present.
Alderman McIntyre.
Yes, here.
Alderman Radford. Here. Vice Mayor Fisher.
Here.
Mayor Roll.
Here. I think okay. All right, for anyone that wants to speak, one last opportunity to get a card to record your name and address on it and your topic. Are we good? Anybody there in the back want to? No, you're good? Okay. All right. All right, then. We will move on to approval of the April 17 minutes, and are y'all willing to take both of these minutes together? We also had a called meeting, is that legal, can we take them together? If we want? Don't need it separate? Okay, we also had a special call meeting, May 15th, and there are minutes attached from that. So I'm gonna take both at the same time. If y'all have an opportunity to review, is there a motion for approval?
Motion for approval.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion or comments about those minutes? All right, Ms. Kessler, call roll, please.
Alderman Women? Yes. Alderman McIntyre?
Yes.
Alderman Radford? Yes. Vice Mayor Clifford?
Yes.
Mayor Bowen?
Yes. Okay, now it is time for citizen comments. Ms. Kessler, were any turned in over digital or email or anything like that? Okay, then it is open citizen comment time for this meeting, and I think you have a couple if you're turned in.
Richard Anderson.
Okay, Richard, you're up. Oh, okay, yeah, be careful.
Folks, I'm here on the account, and I just want to address one part of this, is the Summers Taylor trucks. Folks, I have done everything but bag, and I'll do that if I have to. Past better than 2 decades with the quarry was in operation, Bad Bill Hyder's operation was up there, and so on and so forth. It's these trucks fly. I'm talking 60, 65 mile an hour, and I have seen Johnson City trucks come out of there when the quarry was open. I know they're doing 75, there's no doubt about that. And these trucks this afternoon, I was going over to the neighbors, got under the interstate bridges. Here comes a truck from the south side, Bill Garland. I had to slam my brakes on, and he came halfway out in the road to get stopped. Stop sign down there at the old road. They don't a bit more stop for that sign down there. Man, to man. But I know they're a big outfit. I know they are a wealthy outfit. Folks, I have asked, and I'm gonna tell you a situation in which Mr. Doug Hobson, I'm sorry the man is deceased now, and I'm sorry he's a sick man, I honestly am. But I asked for 3 speed bumps from the interstate bridges down to my barn lot. Got laughed in my face. Folks, that isn't the way you run a city, you run anything else. But that honestly happened up there at the crossroads where Bill Garden comes across Market. And another alderman was there with him, which he is deceased now too. But the speed of these trucks, somebody, I've done figured it would happen before now. They go out into the old highway, and the traffic we have on the old highway at times, it's not continuous. You go out there 40,000 pounds of asphalt, and that truck probably weighs another 35,000. That's 75,000 pounds. Boom. One good thing, there is one good thing about their trucks. They don't have loud jack brakes. Thank the good Lord. But these guys, and I know, I was in manufacturing for 40 years. You can't let equipment go down. If there's anybody understands that, I do. But the speed they're running, the safety factors and everything. I talked to Nick and Jim Friday a week ago. Better part of 45 minutes about this and everything, which yes, they could have been down there. But, just like 3rd graders in grammar school, when the teacher's out of the room, they have a party, and then the teacher comes back, the party's over right quick. Well, they see one of these boys' vehicles. They have a modern communication system and everything. Unicoi sitting down here at the bridges, or Unicoi down here at the old road, or or whatever it may be. But if you all would just, I'm even gonna say consider, do a little more than consider on these speed limits. Go to the high school, what's around over at the ball field, and everything, speed limits. And the local traffic, I don't know where all this traffic has come from on that secondary road is what it is. But there is a ton of local traffic, and I mean to tell you, zoom. And then you come out of the tunnel up there, which when they come out from the asphalt plant, that is nothing but a good downhill grade. And they, you know, they're honestly fine. The dust that the trucks, when the trucks go in,
Pardon me,
Yes, ma'am.
pardon me. I think that Vice Mayor Cooper may have forgot to start his timer.
Yes, we did.
We have a 2-minute limit. and I
oh,
think
I'm
he-
sorry.
No, listen,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no, he forgot to start his timer. So that's our error. Finish, you know, what I mean, you start to talk about the dust.
Yeah,
Yeah, get that,
But
get those
when-
comments.
when the trucks go in, they run in or go into the asphalt plant. That's nothing but dust. When they come out, that's dust. Those big Tanner trucks, they carry a lot of dust, waste, whatever you want to call it. When they are doing whatever they're doing, and I think the portable crusher they took in back 2 winters ago, whatever. Anyway, I think we're crushing rock with it at our quarry, which, you know, I know they're a legal business, they have every right to be there. But folks, these people got to be controlled. It is all there is to it. And I have been to the county, I've been here, past administrations and so on. And let me bring up one thing. When we were down here at school last, in the meetings, didn't Mr. Grant Summers say that he would use the access road instead of coming down the part of Marbletown there?
I think there was some discussion and that can still be.
It
They go over
sure, yeah,
there.
it's sure not happening.
Okay.
But I know they're going to Flag Pond, which I hadn't been up that way, but I told her pavement, which it needed. I'm the first person to say that too.
Okay.
But why can't they go down to Oklahoma and get on the interstate instead of making the pull up this old road and then coming here and going over on the interstate?
We will address, these comments are documented, we can address them, okay?
But you
And
know,
we'll have some conversations
yeah,
about it.
the speed limit's 30
Okay.
mile an hour right down here.
Mhm.
There's a sign down there that says 15, folks.
Okay, we'll address it. Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay. Next two. Kelly Lynch. Okay, now the timer will be. Sorry.
I'm pretty much with, on the side of Mr. Anderson there. The trucks coming down the road, they'll be on your side of the road. You have to kind of slow down for them so they can get over. They don't really stop at the stop signs. They're speeding. There's a lot of dust from all the traffic and stuff. Now, whenever the quarry was in operation years ago, at some point in time, well, 2 points in time during their work operation, they'd at least have a water truck kind of wet the road, try to minimize the dust. That doesn't happen, hasn't happened yet. Every once in a while, you'll start to smell some fumes and stuff from it. And I know what asphalt smells like, but last week or so, it smells like it's like almost like a vacuum cleaner out in the air. I don't know what it is, but from what I understood, it's from, like, I don't know. But other than that, pretty much it. But they need to slow down. So.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Okay. That's all. That's all for Susan. Okay, all right. All right, then we're gonna move on with our agenda. We have no old business, no unfinished business, but we do have new business. And on your agenda, our first new business will be to consider the approval of a contract between the state of Tennessee Department of Transportation and the county of Unicoi for interstate mowing and litter pickup. This contract shall be effective July 1, 2023, and extend for a period of 24 months. These contracts are routinely 2 years in length.
This is the first year it's been
The
2
first
years.
one, too?
Yeah, it's usually a year.
When we do our, with KD, that's, my mind is going on to like having our mowers. Anyway, so this is at the state, and then our next item on the agenda will be how this money is used to help pay for Katie Phillips to do the litter pickup. So it's a two-step process, okay? So the first, approval that we're gonna ask for the board to consider is the contract between the state of Tennessee and the town of Unicoi. And the state sets the rates based on the length and space. They determine how much they will give. RFP, has everybody had a chance to look at it? It's pretty typical, except for, it was my error, that this one will go for 2 years. Is there a motion to approve? Motion to approve. And a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any questions or discussion? Okay, call for vote, please.
Alderman Lehman,
Yes.
Alderman McIntosh,
Yes.
Alderman Radford, yes. Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Bullock.
Yes. So related to that then is the next item on the agenda, which is an agreement to continue the contract that we have between the town of Unicoi and Katie Phillips, who does that mowing and litter pickup for us. And we will extend this contract, for 1 year from June 1, 2023 to June 30, 2024. I guess you've had an opportunity to look at that. I'll need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions on that? I think he does a pretty good job. Looks nice. Okay, all right, no discussion? Let's go.
Alderman Lehman,
Yes.
Alderman McIntosh,
Yes.
Alderman Radford, yes. Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Bullock.
Yes. All right, next item on the agenda is discussion and consideration to approve an agreement with Archive Social for their automated social media archiving services in the amount of $4,188 and an additional one-time fee of $500 for service dates 5/16/2023 through the end of our fiscal year 6/30/2024. On our May 15th call meeting, Laura, our communications and event coordinator, director, shared with us what the product is that they provide, how they do it. I'm gonna let Laura give another recap.
So it's just a archiving, software that will take comments and posts off of social media, even if they're deleted, and archives them for, compliance with the Public Records Act. So even if the comment is deleted off Facebook, for example, Facebook does not save that comment, so if that was to be requested in an open records request, the comment would be archived in our system and we would have access to that. So that's just a short recap of what it is.
And I think we all know how social media is being used these days. The town has Facebook pages, police department, I don't think you use y'all's Facebook page. It would provide us a definite opportunity to be in compliance with open records law. One of the best things about it, I think that Laura had explained, was that, well, it is in real time. It's real time. As soon as it's posted, basically in nanoseconds, it's documented.
And it also has metadata, which is required.
Okay, and then you have access to it. We would have access to it. We don't have to go to Archive Social to have them put something down. We have direct access to it.
And it's a very simple process, as in just putting in the keywords that you need to search. and it brings everything up, all across all social media accounts, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, other social media accounts, which we don't have, but, if in the future, that is something that we can do.
I would like to ask, and we might want to go with a motion in a second to continue this discussion. If the city reporter has an opinion and our city attorney has one, is anybody willing to at least make a motion and a second to let city attorney comment, city reporter comment?
Make a motion for that.
Okay, a motion to accept, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second, so now for further discussion.
I'll let Debbie go first.
Well, I'm not that familiar with it.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can understand there might be a need for it, as far as, you know, I guess liability issues. I mean, I don't know exactly, you know, what the liability ramifications would be. You know, have access to those comments. I mean, I'm going to defer to you about the legal aspect from it.
And I will say this, having in the past, the experience of having to request stuff from Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, having the ability to control it yourself, if you need to have that documented, is good, because trying to deal with the legal entities for these companies are very difficult. I mean, working with the police department within the past couple of years, doing subpoenas, trying to get stuff in criminal cases has taken months to compile information, and they still sometimes redact what you need. So the only thing you have to ask yourself is, how many accounts do you have? Because, like, for example, Mayor, you have one that's Mayor Kathy Bullen, so that would fall under your open records purview because you're using it in your official capacity, and all that. So as far as the dollar amount and the number of accounts, one thing you need to look at, in my opinion, but as far as a resource, I think it's a great thing that Laura's tapped into. And I think you said Jonesboro uses it, Bristol.
Bristol, Sevierville, and, Bristol, sorry. Sevierville and Denver are the local ones that are closest to us, but they have, over 7,000 municipals.
and stuff. How many different pages can they archive?
For the plan that we would have 12 that we could use. So that gives us room to add on other accounts, whether the town grows or if the aldermen decide to make their own visit page
An alderman page.
or official use.
I mean, the history, language.
Yes, the history could
Where you
also
have
be a
the
part of
page.
it.
It could, Tiffany and Debbie Kessler have been busy retrieving documentation very recently. And it's more challenging than you would think sometimes. Going to find it, where is it, how are we gonna transmit it, you know, all those sorts of things. If it ever came down to a Facebook type request, I don't know what we could do. I can't get on Facebook twice and see the same thing, rarely, because it just changes. Okay, any further questions?
Well, it would be a real time saving thing, and it would be the correct information. So, I mean, you know, it's quite a bit of money, but in the long run, it's not like going back and searching for information.
And I might also add that I have received, word from the management company of the Archive Central that they're willing to work with our fiscal year, so they will push back the invoicing until July 1st. So that is something that they're really willing to help work around us. They want to help us. And that's something that I've seen from the representative that I serve.
All right, any further questions? Thank you, Laura. Any further questions, comments? Okay, let's take a vote then, please.
Alderman Lemon. Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford. No. Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Bullock.
Yes. Okay. There's a new project coming on. I think in the long run, it'd be a good. Okay, and it's a 1 year. It's, you know, it runs 2 months. Okay. All right, that's done. Let's go to the next item on the agenda, discussion and consideration to approve the joint interlocal agreement for the Unicoi Annex between Town of Unicoi and Unicoi County Emergency Medical Services and Unicoi County Health Department. Adam, we have Alderman, excuse me, provided on the table was an amended agreement that is an updated version of what's in your notebooks. So when we consider this, we'll be considering this with the yellow highlight on it. And if Adam, if you'd like to say so, I don't really know that it changed anything very dramatically, except clarifying some language, but if you would like to share your intent with the modification, go ahead.
Basically, the words that I changed was to eliminate the ability, the opportunity for folks to freely gather or utilize medical supplies in an ambulance, and without question or permission from myself. That's really the biggest change there. And the other change I made was to make sure that the prime sleeping quarters in the annex building was reserved for the EMS staff, reserved their 24 hours a day. That's truly the only 2 changes that we made, just to kind of clear that up just a little bit, and make sure we're.
Well, it just keeps on.
And that second change was actually my fault. We discussed that in our meeting. I just worded it wrong, and I'm glad I haven't caught it, what was the purpose of sending it out. To make sure I didn't miss anything, and we didn't discuss that, so.
I think it sounds good.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't, there wasn't any here to surprise
I used my best high school litigator.
it. Okay, so all of the board has the updated copy, correct? Okay. That being said, if you have read over it, if the board would like to make a motion in a second.
That's all moved.
Motion. Second, all right, any further discussion? Okay, we will vote on approving this agreement.
Alderman Lemon. Yes. Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford. Yes. Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Bullock.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Adam, for coming. Now it's time for signatures. Okay, all right, now, the next item on the agenda is ordinance 2023-315. It is the first reading and consideration of ordinance 2023-315, an ordinance of the Town of Unicoi, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023, and ending June 30, 2024. There have been no changes since our last budget meeting. Clearly, there will need to be some modification for archive social in that small amount, but I don't think that'll be in there. We'll get it. Y'all have had time to sleep and mull over the budget, after we worked on it. If there is a motion and a second to approve, we will do so. Is there a motion to approve the 2023 fiscal year budget?
That's so moved.
Thank you. Is there a second to approve? Second. And a second. Any further questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, Ms. Kessler, let's call for the vote, please.
Alderman Lemon. Yes. Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford. Yes. Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Bullock.
Yes. That's the first reading, there will be a second reading next month. Okay, reports of officers and committees, I don't see any economic development
I
here.
have,
Oh, I'm sorry.
this.
Pardon me.
This is from Austin Finch, he was not able to make it today. He says that first they had an industry visit to the Second Street site, and that went well. They're waiting to see if, we are moving on to the next round. This would be 160 plus automotive related jobs. Secondly, developer has been selected to redevelop the CSX office building. We are working to finalize the contract now. They are actively advertising for the app festival on the Real Wild Facebook page. So they're doing that for the town. Also.
Strawberry.
Yes, the strawberry festival.
Okay,
Did I say that? My bad.
Strawberry.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's been a long.
Thank you. That's all
It's
right.
been a long process, planning all that. Also, there is a plan for the Drop Creek neighborhood that has been sent to TJ. And that is all that is.
And that's about 80 homes?
I believe the final was 74.
74, okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that's not in the zoning employee, that's not in Irwin, it's in the county, and then it's like, it's all good, it's all good. That'll put people shopping at Walmart, I hope. Okay, thank you, Laura. Planning, I don't know, that's the way down. History. Ms. Baker.
We got our black cards that turned out real nice, thanks to Laura. She got this on. I told her what we needed. She put it together better than I could have told her how to do it. But they turned out real well. And we had a foot class that was very productive. We'll be at the Strawberry Fest with lemonade cookies and bowl cozies. Bowl cozies.
Oh, bowl cozies. Okay.
Yeah. And next month, we're going to be starting reading of books for summer with DAR Melanie Daniels. And the dates will be announced. She's going to be reading books, and there'll be like a little craft thing for the kids to do after they get through doing the reading of the book, and maybe, Kool-Aid or lemonade or something like that. Something for the kids to do, maybe a couple of weeks out of the year, 2 months. July, we're going to try to combine ice cream social with like a back to school event, and maybe have some things for the kids for back to school. And we'll know more about that in the next month or so. And we'll be working on the garden, trying to, in between everything else. And we'll be having some classes. We want to try to redo the chairs, some of them that needs to be fixed. We'll be using woven. Yeah, woven. And we'll do maybe some crocheting and other things. We'll be announcing that.
Okay. Y'all busy. You're busy lady. All right, thank you. Planning commission, Ms. Wanda.
Planning commission and BZA board were notified May the 1st by email from our city reporter that the board's city planner for the First Tennessee Development District has resigned. The planning commission met on May 1st, 2023. Under old business was discussion of zoning ordinance updates. We did not discuss the ordinance updates due to the city planner's resignation. The assigned city planner was present at the meeting, and we should have the update ready for discussion in the next board meeting. Under new business was a special sign approval for the Uniform Fire Department for property located at 3907 Uniform Drive. The sign was unanimously approved by the board. The sign will be placed on the Massachusetts Avenue side of the building, which will give more public visibility and less distraction than the Uniform Drive side. The funds to pay for the sign was awarded to the fire department through a grant. There was a preliminary plat approval by the board off Tinkle Road that was not on the agenda due to the time and date of the sale of the property. And then on the zoning board, which met also on Monday, May 1st, 2023, under new business was a temporary use permit for camper 6 to 8 months prior to and during construction submitted by Matt Shipley for property located at Highway 107, Newport, Tennessee. Mr. Shipley did not attend the meeting. His application did not meet the qualifications to grant a temporary use permit. The board voted unanimously to deny the request. And under other business, the board discussed a temporary use permit for the Flax property located at Shepherd's Branch Road, Newport. The permit was voted by the board for renewal on September 7th, 2022. In the March 6, 2023 minutes, under the old business, the board discussed and agreed that it was about time for the permit to end and requested the city planner to check on the temporary use permit for the Flax property. The signed city planner was updated and made aware of the situation, and he will check with the owners.
We did more than I realized in that. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. All right, moving on. Mountain Promise Kitchen, there's a report in your packet. And, Debbie, can we anticipate what you think, well, when we get the financials, anticipate what you think, we're gonna need to be moving over to balance the kitchen?
For the end of the year.
Yeah, just kind of extrapolate that number and figure out, okay, sure, I did this. You can see the users, though, and how many hours they're using. And once again, this is a slow moving item on the agenda. We have, been working on constructing a new kitchen group. And in the course of that, we've had some really interesting things just kind of coming on out of the blue. A couple from Greenville that would like to utilize a lot of the kitchen space. Just a lot of some other things that just come down the pipe. So that's still going to be a work in progress, just saying. All right. Parks and Rec, tourism, fine. So you canceled the strawberry.
No. So Strawberry Festival is Saturday. We have sold out of booth spaces on Wednesday the 10th, which was 2 days before our deadline. We have a record number of 148 vendors for a total of $7,610 for booth fees. We have 36 sponsors for a total of $12,600. Advertising for the festival is going well. We are featured on Daytime Tri-Cities on Thursday, May 11th. And then also some people around community are sharing our Facebook posts, doing a whole campaign this week on just different events that will be happening at the festival. Like for example, today I did about the Kids Zone, already made a post about the recipe contest. So just that will be happening throughout the week. For Freedom Fest, Tony and Danny are working on purchasing the fireworks. We'll be shooting them off in Mark Ramsey's fields, which is behind the apartments. Also, all season will be located on the field beside the school, since the playground has been taken over with construction. And
shifting.
yes, we're just shifting it. And the stage will be, on the basketball court, probably, not final, but that's probably where it will be. But been very busy with Strawberry Festival, so that is all that I have.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. Chief Engineers.
Morrison Police Department, we've had 19 citations this month, 3 arrests, 10 code enforcement, 4 accidents. Going back to what Richard was talking about, we have been out there, big billboard, guess what, they won't slow down. I talked to Commissioner Anderson, hopefully this year with the budget, before the end of the year, I know I've talked to Mayor Debbie about the traffic counter. I do try to plan on purchasing that toward the end of the budget. That way we've got, that will give us the data and stuff that we can curb some of this stuff up there at the aquarium. Sitting there, they will do good, because they see us, they get on the radio, cell phones, they slow down. Also, in regards to Strawberry Festival, we've done quite a bit of equipment, stuff like that. We've got Homeland Security, some equipment that we've been along with the city of Jonesboro, we've got water barricades, we've got, Brooklyn County Sheriff's Department is giving us a camera, because we're going to see all the festival grounds. So just the contacts that we've had, utilized, we do a lot of stuff going this month.
All right, thank you, thank you. All right, municipal court report.
Okay, this is for the month of April, and we collected $1,880. We had $121 in litigation tax, $38 in Department of Safety fines. Municipal training was $13.30, and then the CSI fees were $369. So the net disbursement revenue for April was $338. And the number of tickets that were written for April were 14. There was 11 speeding tickets, 1 power lane violation, and 2 seat violations.
Okay. Any comments, questions, board? Right, keep going. All right, Ms. Kessler, you're up again for report report.
Okay, I talked with the highway markings person, Audie, as regards to, the guardrails for Fagan Bridge, and what they're trying to do is coordinate with Johnson County to put the guardrails at Fagan Bridge, and also we'll try to get a section there at Parsley in Virginia, and then another section maybe for Marbleton. I think, what we ended up paying, last month was about, a little less than 25,000 for the guardrails that we had put up. The estimate for the Fagan Bridge guardrails will be about 6,500. So they're looking for May the 22nd, to install and coordinate with Johnson County. There's been some paving done on Lee Street, and, that ended up being about 192 tons of asphalt at $100 a ton, so that's $19,000 just for the asphalt. I haven't gotten the invoice from the county yet. They also did some patching on Marbleton, and that was 166 tons, so it's about $16,547 for asphalt. So I know they've done some patching at Massachusetts, but I don't know if Kevin wants to talk about what they've done down through there. As far as doing some patching.
Yeah, they've done a Band-Aid down there where the utilities had gravel. And then, they've done a couple of bumps there between the railroad tracks and the school, the dips there. So
Yeah.
we got,
And I haven't gotten any kind of bill on that yet, so. We've sent, work orders in on that Miley's Bridge, to redirect the water. We sent that in a few weeks ago. And, then we've done a second request to Terry Haynes, and that's on that, grate that's falling in there on Springbrook and Rose Hill Lane. Because, I mean, I think it's pretty dangerous as far as, But he says it's going to be very expensive, hasn't given me a cost estimate on that yet, so we're just kind of waiting to hear from him.
Okay, and yeah, I think we need to kind of, somebody needs to go with him, when he looks at that and see, if there's some way, because he told me kind of what it needed, but I don't think the rest of the tiles, are rusted out. He's talking about replacing the 40-foot there. So, but anyhow, I think somebody needs to go with him when we talk about that. To see if we can
Did you
get by.
go with him
I will.
before? Yeah, before.
I did before, yes,
Okay.
and I don't care to go back with him again.
I just know he keeps telling me it's gonna be really expensive, but I have not seen any.
Yeah, that's what he was saying, and he was talking about replacing the entire 40-foot there, and I don't think all of it. If there's some way we get by there, replace it all, because it would be expensive.
We have paid for the digital radios, $18,689. That's gonna fall in this year. Nick has seen the equipment, and we kind of signed off on it. And And, that's good because it was budgeted this year and that way we didn't have to worry with budgeted in the new budget. We paid, for administrative, charges to First Tennessee Development District, small amount, $337, and then we've just gotten 2 more invoices. I'm doing some administration on the ARPA funds. The amount for the digital radios, that'll be offset by earned revenue in the month of May, so we won't see that in the financials this time. We do have in ARPA funds, $325,000 budgeted for the school in the new year, $3,700 for a weather station, and then infrastructure is right now at $384,300.
I keep hearing the phone go off, and it's distracting. It's distracting. Can I ask whoever's got the phone, then the phone goes off?
I think it's my watch.
Is
I
it?
tried cutting it off.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I turned my phone off, but it's my watch.
I wouldn't have any idea.
I'll sit on it. That should be, I'll sit on it.
Okay, I appreciate, I just keep hearing that. Okay, thank you. All right, and school, you said school to the school and the weather station thing, yeah.
Yes, and then infrastructure would be the balance of our money.
Okay.
You know, in ARPA.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that 384,000 will be, you know, going towards Massachusetts and part of the match and all that. Do you have anything, Vice Mayor Cooper, to say anything about the EMS? We're all done and good. and-
It's good as far as I know. Well, we got a little minor water problem. I got to look at it.
Well, I think everything's paid at this point.
Good.
So,
Then there was one question, Debbie, on that, down there where Terry Hayes patched that on West, below Jess Hobson Road where the utilities, now the utilities will pay for that. won't
it's my understanding that in phase 1, what Irwin Utilities is doing is in conjunction with TDEC through the county. Okay, so that, and we have a 10% match on whatever that cost will be.
they? Okay, well, I was thinking that one place where they took up and worked on the sewer, that they were going to pay for that patch.
That's there.
That he's already done.
That's part of the number, I'm assuming, that goes along with the asphalt and the labor that the county will be paying. And they qualified through TDEC because they, you know, they had the water, you know, they had the capability of getting some reimbursement because it's a water thing, sewer, you know, where we didn't qualify because we didn't have the water and sewer. It's not really under us anymore. So the total amount that, I had on the, EMS building was like 83,000, something like that, which is good because we budgeted, I think, 84.5. So I think we came in pretty good on that. The building permits, I looked at those just to see how many we've had, over the past year and a half. It's about 14 new houses. Of course, there's other things too, you know, renovations and roofs and things like that, but we did have 14 new home, building permits in a year and a half, so I thought it was pretty good. We did the May 3rd special call meeting and did the application for that, so that was sent off on May the 12th, and we'll end up having to have a public meeting on that. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was the fact that Tiffany and Mindy have gone to that municipal clerks conference in Murfreesboro, and part of the fees that we get from the tickets, you know, pays for that education for the court clerks. And then Tiffany has started her CMFO program, so I think she's at what, 2 classes, 2 tests? Got 9 more to go? That's all.
Okay, thank you. Any comments, questions from the board? No? All right, Ms. Kessler, you get to go again with our financial report.
Okay, so on the general fund, on the current amount of cash, what we consider to be current is $1,691,560. We also have, like I said, ARPA funds. This is not counting the digital radios that we'll pay for. They'll be in the next financial. We have 732,000 in ARPA funds. Snyder investment is 130,000, 911, it's restricted. We did budget in the new year, for the roof for the cabin, which was about 23,000, 24,000 around through there. And that will come from that Snyder, restricted funds for the cabin to get a new roof. We've got a CD that we have at Mountain Commerce Bank that's 115,000, it's earning 4.05%, it's a 13-month CD. And then, we have restricted funds in street aid of 94,000 and unappropriated fund balance of 1,792,000. Our general fund, for April, the month, our revenue is at 165,906. And year to date, we were at 1,561,986. Our expenditures for the month were 97,635. For the net income was 68,271. Year-to-date expenditures were 1,372,271, and we had a net income for year-to-date of $189,715. And if you turn over, well, you can look at the balance sheet if you want to look at the general fund. What's due to general fund and what's due to the general fund and due from the kitchen. You can subtract those two numbers and come back with about $10,000 to $12,000. If you turn over on the revenue page and take a look at the month for April, you've got revenues of $2,603. That was just MMHK revenue. That's basically the clients. And the personnel was $859, and all the other expenditures were $2,307. So the kitchen lost for the month of April $564. And year to date, the revenues were $36,100, and total expenditures year to date $48,220. So what you're looking at right here is your net income loss is $12,120. So at this point, this is what the general fund would use to the kitchen zero. So I would estimate that to be, and it looks like it's running, you know, maybe 1,000 to 2,000 a month in the hole. And then the general fund at the end of the year will, I'm going to say around 16,000 probably.
All right, thank you.
And then as far as not any activity in the drug fund, and then if you turn over to your graphs, the local option sales tax, and I know we've talked about that being down the last few months compared to the previous year. So I spent some time taking a look at that a couple of weeks ago. And at this point, 10 months previous year, to compare 10 months this year, previous year is 801,000. This year it's at 756. So that's about a $54,885 decrease, 5.6% decrease in the local option sales tax. I will say that a couple of businesses are down in sales tax collections, and one particular business has been bought by another business, and it's kind of like a parent company controlling that other business, and therefore the town is not any longer collecting sales tax on that business. So that did affect local option. Now, if you turn over and we'll take a look at the state shared revenue, you've got the opposite effect. 10 months previous year was at 349,848, and 10 months this year we're at 375,286. So that's an increase from the previous year of 25,438. So 6.8% increase.
So almost
Your
45
state share.
local. So we're still in the whole 20.
And like I said, there are some other businesses too that their sales tax collections.
Well, and then in our next fiscal year, August through October, it's gonna be tax-free budget. 3 months. Yeah, it's in the books, it's gonna happen, so I think we have to anticipate how that's gonna affect us. Okay. All right, and we're already starting the year
I did want to say about the budget too, you know, we have budgeted a new full-time police officer, with benefits, and a police vehicle is in that budget as well. And the employees, will be getting a cost of living increase of 5%. And then a new roof for the cabin. And some more infrastructure, you know, obviously for the architects and our match.
there. Okay, all right, anything else?
I move that we approve the financial.
Okay. Have a motion, Stephen, a motion and a second, any further discussion on financials? All right, hearing none, Ms. Kessler, let's vote.
Alderman Lemon. Yes. Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Gordon.
Yes. Thank you for all that. Any announcements? That concludes our official business. You may have any announcements you'd like to share? Everybody from the Strawberry Festival. There's gonna be some different and new and really neat things out there. We've never had anyone out there to read their book. We have an author coming that wrote a book called Alma and Strawberries. That American Farm Bureau adopted as one of their ag education books for the year. Anyway, she's coming, she's gonna read her book, and they will be for sale. And it's gonna have a little bit of anything. So, everybody come out. Everybody come out and enjoy it. I hope it doesn't rain us out at 4 o'clock like it did last time. Scrambling, so you get everything covered. Nick, you got anything you'd like to add? Oh, you want me to say that was an idea. Aaron?
Yes, he left his days, he will be on 400 days.
Aaron, one of our part-time police officers has to, report for duty, deployed through Army National Guard. And 400 days at least, and he's left, he had his wife here and his 15-year-old daughter. And they have not gone through a deployment before. So this is new for them at home. So remember Aaron in your thoughts and prayers, if you can say, and Rachel and Ruby.
And
Okay.
can I say something?
Yes,
And we should have an estimate on the roof on the cabin. We should have done that. We'll have it by the end of the week here. And I rode out to the asphalt plant at 7:30 this morning. And I'm glad y'all came out because if we know what the problem is, then we'll try to work on the problem. So, and like Mr. Lynch said, you know, when the quarry was going, they kept that water. They kept that road sprinkled down. And two, you know, it's just like, you know, we need to tell them, you know, drive like it's a school zone.
See, today was a light day here.
Right.
Very light.
And see, I'd had a lot of people say you need to come out there. This is the first chance I've got, you know, so, you know, and I tell everybody, I say, come out and say what's on your mind.
Yeah, there's other people that's got other issues, which I do too. But I'm just gonna give you an example. Kelly's mom was down at our house 2 or 3 days ago talking about the dust. Went 3 years, didn't have it. Well, nothing done. Go look on our patio now, already, and the season is just now starting. Look, any help y'all can give us down there, you're more than welcome. But I still think, the part of clean off is here, I don't know how many 100,000 tons of asphalt got up on the mountain. city of Unicoi get?
Richard,
I don't get one dime.
Richard, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn, and the conversations can continue. They can continue. Do I have a motion and a second to adjourn? All in favor? There we go. Now, the conversation can continue. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about,
Okay.
The other day, I went to pull off Pine Hill Road, and I looked, there was nothing. And I looked to my left, and I looked back, and if I could pull it out, I would have smacked crazy by someone's paper. They're hauling, but, yeah. And I don't even know. Some of this haul. So it's nothing coming, I'm clear. Nothing coming. And all of a sudden, no, they have.
I will, if I can grow up. Appreciate it.
Come in with $2.